what informs an artist and how he or she thinks are sometimes historical, sometimes is the way the person's grown up, the nurture, the parents, the environment, the school can be a major influence on an artist. But I think whatever the influence is, one of the things that is quite interesting is that most art is supposed to come from a kind of breakup of, I would say, the status quo, the challenging the authorities and stuff like that, as in most part brought about revolutions in art. But there's one thing that I think in our current age that is quite important, which is what is the position of morality in the production of artwork. I mean, it's morals important, and what is morals? What does it depict? What is the broad brush of that? Why do we have to look at the role of morality in the production of art? The ethics of it is quite a complex subject. I think you have even university departments that struggle with it or are not even bothering with it. But it's something that kind of troubles the environment in terms of a person, an individual trying to make works of art and confronting these issues. One of them would be copyright theft, plagiarism, and downright abuse of the work of other people and claiming that you did it. I think that's where the morality aspect may play a part. But who is to legislate for that except maybe the lawmakers? And again, how many lawmakers know much about the production of art, the making of art? How many? Most of them tend to be like people in business or people of the law, people who have studied law. So they are not really in the art production business. But it's a question that has serious implication in the age of computer duplication, manipulation, and generation, by which I mean AI, artificial intelligence. How does the new age confront and combat these extremes? How does the artist negotiate these far-reaching borders and come out with a sense of balance? How does it happen? So again, as a young artist, I'm addressing that in general here. As a young artist, you have to be cautious of it. Don't be paranoid about it, but you have to be cautious of it, because you may think that the work you're producing is original. But is it? Can it ever be? If in doubt, check, look. If you believe that what you're doing is original, then you must check whether what you're thinking is true. I don't think that any type of art today is an original in terms of it's the first time it's been produced. No, it has been produced many other times. The difference is that you have produced it, and so you claim ownership. That's where the originality can be ascribed to. Because you made it, because you claim it, it is an original. But the actual work, if you look at it, it has influences from practically the universe from everywhere. And it doesn't really matter too much about whether something is original or not. It's whether it is being interpreted in a sense that it makes logical sense to people who are looking at the work. So, for example, you can paint or draw in a similar way as Picasso, but you're not Picasso. So the important thing you must do is, what is your story saying? What is your art all about? If you can articulate that, then you have an original work. You don't have to worry about certain similarities. Where you have a problem is when the work looks like, but it has no story to tell. Then it looks as if all you did was copy and bastardize the original. So, art, in a struggle with morality, must deal with who is the current interpreter, who is doing it right now. If you're the one, check where your influences are coming from. Check whether you are actually utilizing these influences for a new and a broader truth. What is it saying? What are you trying to say? What is it doing? What are you trying to do? Do you have a kind of moral obligation to give credit if you feel that the work is very similar to a particular person's work? Do you have the sense to give credit to the origin? Acknowledge it so that people, when they look at your work, they see the truth of it and thereby appreciate it even more. What will be terrible is that people can see where all your influences are coming from, and you turn around and still claim that your works are unique and original. So this is what any young artist should bear in mind, that it is not the influence as the problem. The problem is that you do not understand that if you do even copy a piece of work, it's not a crime. Where it is a moral crime or you are letting yourself down is when you don't acknowledge the original. So be grateful, be thankful, be generous. If your work looks like the work of someone else, acknowledge them in the work. Maybe in your writing, in the caption, or something like that. Give thanks to the person. That would even make the work more legit. Praise the person for actually producing the work. Don't fawn to them. You don't have to worship them because of it, but you have to give them their credit. And they, in turn, you will be surprised, will be generous to actually extend a hand of friendship to you if they are around or if they are alive and close to you. So, morality in art, in a sense, is about looking at yourself in truth, looking at your consciousness of what is happening around you, and then making sure that there's a balance between your expectation and the outcome, and give greetings and salutations or whatever, however you want to see it. Try and acknowledge others in what you do. Sharing art is actually the oxygen of art. So if you do a work of art that is similar or looks like the work of someone else, the way you share it is to just acknowledge the person. Like, for example, this work was inspired by Ferdinand Léger, or this work was started with a chance viewing of the works of Marcel Duchamp or Anselm Kiefer, or one of these big boys that occupy a lot of spaces in the world of art. So by doing that, you also give yourself a sense of history, a sense of origin, a rooting that would help you quite a lot in your art career. There is no need, or there's no point trying to struggle to find the origin, because believe it or not, there is no constance in that word. It is always moving. People being living things, their origins also moving things. So you shouldn't waste too much time on is something original. What you should be spending your time on is, are you being creative with what is out there? And with that said, if you continue to explore, to read, to educate yourself, and to be aware of what is going on around you, you certainly will be producing good and better, more appointed works in your repertoire. With that said, have a good day. Ciao.